My name's Aileen Novick. I'm the manager of public and education programs at the Worcester Art Museum, and I'm actually from Worcester, Massachusetts. We have a lot of different kinds of programming at the Art Museum. So I work on school programming, pre-K through 12. So that involves a lot of times visits to the museum, right now virtual visits. I'm also in charge of the docent program. The docents are our volunteers who lead tours of the works at the museum. I run trainings for them. We organize the tours through them. They really serve all of our school groups that come. We also have a lot of programming that goes on with our exhibitions. So we have regular programs. We have a monthly lecture series that happens about 6 times a year, the Master Series lectures, and those focus on works of art in the collection. We also have programming that goes along with specific exhibitions. In my position, we create, activities that go along with the exhibitions. We organize speakers. We organize community days where we try and have a day, we're going to have some virtual for Festa Roma. So we'll be focusing on different Roman works and have all different speakers and performances. We'll have a Roman Legion. We have different events throughout the year, like Deck the Halls, where we decorate the museum during the holiday season, and we have musicians that come in. So kind of organizing different groups and programs to really entice people to find new entry points to the museum. For our programs, generally it involves a lot of people gathering together, either to see a lecture or a performance or to go on a tour with someone. So almost all of that has been transferred online. Our Master Series lectures are taking place via Zoom. Some of our programming takes place via Facebook Live. We have a huge Arms and Armor collection that came to us from the Higgins Armory Museum. WAM took in a lot of that collection and interprets it now. And usually on Saturdays, there were 2 different demonstrations people could go to and see different demonstrations that show some of the armor or the weaponry that goes along with the collection. So those happen now every other Saturday via Facebook Live. We have different reenactors that come into the museum and they beam out to the public at 11:30 these presentations, and people can comment in the chat. Our docents have been busy. They've been doing virtual tours for different groups, and every other Wednesday they do what's called a Zip Zoom tour. And they used to do these zip tours at the museum, which is like a 20-minute quick look at something, because some people don't want to go on a long tour, and now they do them for 30 minutes on Zoom every other Wednesday. It's kind of like a lunchtime offering at 12:30, and those have been very popular. So most of our programming is now online. There are a lot of professors that really like to bring their students to the Worcester Art Museum and show them certain collections that go along with what they're studying. I know for Worcester State, we did a tour of French civilization, which we have a lot of works. And then our docent was able to beam into a classroom and talk to the students. And we're doing that a lot for different people, as sort of creating a digital tour, because it is hard. Right now we can have a maximum of 5 people in a group, but they also can't be guided by one of our docents. So we do create a lot of digital tours, which is new for us, but we're finding it is a good way to reach people. And reaching people that sometimes can't come to the museum has been sort of a silver lining of the work we've been doing. We do have so much space that you can really sort of space out, which is really nice. And we are being cautious. You have to enter right now through the Salisbury Street entrance because our Lancaster Street entrance is under construction, but in a way that makes it safer, because with only one entrance, we can only take so many people per hour. So we are really being careful and watching the guidelines of how many people. And you'll see sometimes there's a sign. We have a few galleries kind of up behind me upstairs where only 2 people can be in them at a time because of the space. So we really do take the measurements seriously, and we really try and make it a safe place for people to come during this time, especially when all the institutions really had to close. We closed down in mid-March last year when others did, and we were closed through October. So for us, that's a really long time to not have people coming in the doors, to not have programs operating. For us, spring was going to be a huge um, field trip and tour season. So definitely that's been a hit for a lot of cultural institutions because they couldn't operate. And so to keep your staff going and not have programs going on and admission coming in is definitely a difficult situation. Yeah. We work with Heather Tressler a lot from Worcester State University. I know that in the public programs, we meet with her regularly to try and find out sort of different ways that we can work with professors and students at Worcester State to sort of keep a relationship going. I know our director, Matthias Voschek, meets with the president of Worcester State as well, because they're always trying to sort of work collaboratively and to figure out different ways to work together. So I think there really is a special relationship between the two institutions. And so we're always looking for new ways. And I think, being in touch with administration at Worcester State has really been great for us in trying to find ways to work together and to really get more students and faculty to use the museum. We also have faculty nights where there are special programs for professors at the different local colleges, because we're always trying to tell them about the upcoming exhibitions and the programs so that they know what might be of interest to them and to their courses. A lot of times there's sort of overlap, and it's a great way to get them to, a lot of times they're the ones that first tell their students, here's something that we might be able to use from the art museum. And so we definitely try and work collaboratively and enjoy working with the local colleges. Opening June 12th, we have an exhibition called The Iconic Jersey, Baseball Times Fashion, which will be really interesting. It's going to be a look at the different fashions of baseball. And this sort of is timed to go with the opening of Polar Park in Worcester. And so our assistant curator of American art, Erin Corrales-Diaz, has organized all these different jerseys that are coming in, some from private collectors, some from Cooperstown Museum, that will give people a look at the different styles of jerseys that have been worn over time, the different materials they're made out of. So that's a really neat exhibition that will be opening. It runs from June 12th till September 12th. And so I think that's a more fun exhibition to come in and see too. We're working on an app with Worcester Polytechnic Institute students where you'll be able to sort of create your own jersey on your phone, which is something fun to do as well. As students of Worcester State, you always get free admission to the museum because Worcester State is an institutional partner. So that's a really nice perk. You just register online right now. We have a bright pink banner on our website, and it's really for Worcester State. You would be reserving a ticket, but you wouldn't need to pay for it. I think there's just all different connections that people don't always think about, but when they see an exhibit, it just kind of gives them a new perspective. I also think for students, sometimes, people just get stressed, and a nice way to relax is to maybe find a few different works at the museum that you just like to look at. There's a lot of different reasons someone might come to the museum. We have an outdoor courtyard where there's some sculptures. I think it's just sometimes too a great way to learn more about what's in Worcester. Sometimes you get caught on campus and you think, what are the other local cultural institutions that I might like to go see? And I think that's nice too. We're always planning new exhibitions. And so right now, that's what we're trying to figure out is when we can return to in-person. Right now, we will have a lecture series and some films that go along with our baseball show. We have a children's book author, Matt Tavares, who writes a lot of different and illustrates. He has about 6 different children's books illustrated on baseball, and he'll be coming to talk. We'll be having a series with Lauren Meyer, who produced a film, The Other Boys of Summer, which is focused on the history of the Negro Leagues. So she'll be kind of taking that angle as to looking at, what were their uniforms like, what's the history of that, and she'll be speaking about the film, which will also show. Todd Radham will kick off our last master series of the year, and he does a lot of graphic design around baseball. So, those are big programs that we have coming. And I think, we're looking to see, can we show more films, and how do we do that, depending on when we can gather again. So, and then we'll return to our regular events. We're looking forward to the fall and seeing when we can have people come in again. We also have a huge project going on, which is that Lancaster entrance. We're really revitalizing that space. There was a problem with the entryway stairs, and they're taking this as a time to think about the campus and how it will look going forward. And one problem that we've always had at that entrance is the lack of an elevator. So that whole section of the museum out front is going to be brand new some point this summer. So we're excited about that. And that's really what our March lecture is about, is the new plan for that Lancaster lobby. Because the museum itself, 1896, is a historical building. And so looking towards how we can enhance it and make it more accessible for everyone is definitely something that we're looking forward to. And that's something else that should be coming this summer. We're also looking to redo a lot of windows for our studio classes. So that'll be taking place this summer. And we'll have a whole new series too of summer classes that people can take for adults and youth. And then in the fall, we're looking to see if maybe we can be back in person for a lot of those classes. Well, mostly we'd love to see them, come into the museum, come visit us, come to some of the programming. I'd love to see some students at our programs. We're always excited to see people. Check out the calendar listings and really see, what's a program that you might like to come to. You can always suggest programming as well, and you can see, if you have a professor and you think that there might be some works of art, definitely, give me a call. Let me know. We can create a tour for you, when it can be in person or a digital tour. We would just love to see you. So, definitely check out the listings and visit the museum and see what we can help you with. If you're doing a project, like I said, we have the library. There's just so many great resources at the museum. And we're always here and willing to, create something new for students. So just tell us what you're interested in, and we'd love to have you stop in.